We are live. Welcome to the Michigan Bros Grow Show. Cheers, everybody. Episode 221. Yeah, give me that banjo. Got my panel here, Spartan Grown, Nut Tree, and Terra Nation. And we'll have some others later. They're just getting settled back from a long weekend. We had the Fledge. But I hope everybody out there in chat's doing good. I got tons of new dabs, so I'm doing well.
Yeah,
broke
me
the
too.
record. They're saying that they broke the records up there for attendance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yep.
one of the bit. I mean, I've not been that many times, but the times I have been, that was the busiest I've ever been there.
I just
We were
love
there later, and it was still busy.
some of the new people's faces. I'd love watching people walk in and their faces just light up with gosh, it's just awesome to see the faces of people.
I still get that way because
Yeah.
you discover something new every time you're there. I love going there. We had so much fun. I had to leave early because I had to go to work. So
Did not want to leave.
no, did not want to leave.
Wish we could have met you guys there.
Yes, we were bummed
just
that we
missed you.
Yeah, well, at least we had somebody there to represent the whole time, right?
Yeah, we were. And I'm not bankrupt anymore, so I'm super happy.
Excellent.
Lots of
Shout out
great
to everybody we saw there. I can't remember
shout out to
everybody.
everybody. Got some great flour, edibles. Oh yeah, we're happening.
We weren't even in the building yet. We spotted Blue Kiss walking down the road, middle of the road.
We were just coming in, and Drogue Rose was pulling up. So we got to hang out and see him. That was super
Nice.
cool, and got to smoke he brought us some of the strawberries and cream that he ran from Red and Becca's cut of strawberry and cream that he got. We got that. Let me see if this will do it any justice. I don't know.
Nice.
Oh, it's definitely. I can definitely. I mean, I've obviously smoked it for a long time, and so I could tell that it's strawberries and cream. I know it's very creamy. Very good.
I see Blue Kiss just showed up in chat. Shout out to Blue Kiss. She gifted me and baked some flour, and it was.
I got some too.
Oh,
It's really super duper good.
the RS11 and then the other one.
Moonbow.
Moonbow.
Yes.
That Moonbow was pretty fucking. It was a nice high for me. I smoked that during the last show.
Yes, I've been saving that to smoke, but I also have some of her Banana Bayou that she's gonna. I think this might be the one that she's gonna enter into the Sun Grown.
Okay. Yep, that's coming up in December.
Unless she changes her mind, it's a good one. But boy, she's really done a very fine job. Oh, and her kept secret.
Yeah, I had some of that one. I like that.
That
one
was good.
Yeah, I've been meaning to text her or tell her I like that one. So shout out Blue Kiss on that kept secret. I put on the how I like to mark. Usually when I mark my pre-rolls, I like to label them or whatever. I just put SHHH like it's a kept secret. So that's why I labeled it.
And I was like, why does it say shit? And then I was like, oh, that's why. It dawned on me. But no, great job.
Bergoli, Dan, welcome. Hello, how we doing?
Cheers,
You're
guys.
muted, Dan.
Dan, you're muted, buddy.
Cheers, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
No
worries.
It's good to see both you guys.
Yeah,
Up there.
it's so good to see you both.
It was awesome. Thanks to everybody who showed up and stopped by and chatted with us and just did some dabs. It was a really, really great time at the Third Eye Craft Fair yesterday. Amazing turnout.
Shout out Red Becca, they were there vending. Shout out Indica B, and I'm not going to give her government name. I'm not sure if that's cool, so I'll just say Miss Blue, Miss B. They were out there, and that was their very first time vending. So it was super, super cool for me to see those guys.
Very nice.
And they crushed it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys been following that. I'm saying you guys hasn't just chat, following those guys' journey, but I mean they are transplants from out east, like East Coast, like where are they from? New Jersey, wasn't it? And
Massachusetts.
Yeah, even more east. And he had some health issues that he used cannabis oil and cannabis to help treat it, and eventually he got better and he made his way back to. He's basically, you could consider him a medical refugee. He moved out this way so that he could grow and treat himself with it. And here he is now where he's actually vending and being able to share that medicine with other people. It's fucking awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great
Yeah,
job.
he
I'm so
does a
proud of him.
superb job.
Great grower.
Cherry Garcia. I love his Cherry Garcia.
Yes.
Very
Very
flavorful.
good. The Oz, I love
Yeah,
it.
he hooked me up with some of the Cherry Garcia.
Nice.
Off the top.
We smoked.
Excellent.
What did we smoke today? The Orange Gasm?
Man, that smells
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
super good.
I'm excited to try this Detroit Runts. I'm going to light up here in a little bit. I got a Detroit Runts pre-roll of his. Probably fired up right now, actually. Might as well. It's a good call for it. Shout out Indica B. Thank you.
Yes,
I got
What's the logo?
Green Shepherd.
Green Shepherd.
I got the apple mints and his, what was this one? Papaya S1.
The apple mints is really good. I really enjoy that one. I've had the pleasure of working with Indica B for months now, so we've gotten to know each other real well, and he's a great guy. I can't say enough good things about him. He's such a hard worker, boy. Whew. He's got work ethic like me, and I love it.
Yeah, that dude never stops.
No, he does not stop, and he definitely has some health issues that keep, he had flaring up from time to time, and that, putting back a little bit. But man, he just keeps coming back for more, and I'm super proud of him. He really did a great job yesterday.
Does anybody else have a way of letting people in? Because Baked is gone, but Becca wants to get in. I don't think I have any.
I don't think I do either. Hang on back, Swerve. We'll get it.
I am smoking on some Red and Becca's strawberries and cream. Red and Becca.
Nice.
Fire.
I might have trimmed that one.
Excellent.
That's what I was in. That was one of the ones I was in charge of the other day. We had a fun time. Her and Blue Kiss and I sat around talking for a few hours just about everything, and that was super fun.
Excellent.
I love Blue Kiss, man. It's that when we were walking up towards it, she's walking right down the center of the street, and she's got like her, I don't know, like 10 things in her hand, and her Dr. Dabber's sitting on the top of the mouthpiece. I recognize it instantly. She's got her hat on. And Bake saw her first, and he says, "I think that's Blue Kiss coming this way." And I look down that way, and that's my weakness is I don't have very good long vision. And I was like, I just see somebody in a hat, but I see it looks like a glass piece in their hand too. Yep, that's probably her. Walking down the center of the street. Yep, that's probably her. And sure enough, that's what it was.
She's funny. She's the best. Love sharing time with her.
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Out
Oh,
to
yeah.
Lucas.
Always.
How you doing for Girly?
He's not allowed to talk yet.
Good. Yeah. Sorry, I'm busy over here trying to prep something for you guys. I'm doing well. It was really great to see everybody this weekend and really spend some time with just about everybody. Not only do we, like you guys mentioned, the whole MBGS crew was there. A lot of friends and fans of the show and just longtime friends to the community and whatnot. I do believe that the Third Eye Craft Fair set a new record for attendance, which is pretty awesome. Is Becca still backstage right now?
Yep. In red.
Just me. Just
Okay.
me.
Oh, just Becca.
Thank you. There she is.
Back hunting that stinker of a husband I have. He went back.
Oh, you're gonna have to get used to that.
That's fine. I wanted to shout out one more before Snosberry. This LA Baker is so tasty. Oh my gosh. I'm going super slow and only doing like a little bit at a time because I'm trying to savor everything. So tonight I'm going to try the triple burger for the first time
Oh gosh, I love it.
from you guys, Tracom Forge, and I'll probably have some GG4 because that's
So great.
Nice.
Dan
But
made me cry yesterday on the dab that I did. It was so
I heard
tasty.
that. I heard about that,
And-
Sarah.
And it was not a hot dab either. Let me clear that up. It was not a hot dab. I was literally moved. It was that mouthful tasty. Just mouth of it.
It
Just
really
everything.
hits you.
It's
It
so
didn't.
wonderful.
I didn't get the effect right away. I like smoked it and exhaled, and it was so beautiful. And then it hit me, and I was like, "Whoa, this is cool."
Yeah.
So
Guys,
tasty.
those
I know what you mean. Exactly. I had the same
Yeah.
feeling. Yes.
It's like
ungrown
you get the
turfs, man.
flavor and then the feeling. I loved it.
He does such a wonderful job. I mean, just brings out everything of that.
Speaking of wonderful jobs, I have to say you guys did a pretty wonderful job on your chem cookies.
Thank you.
Dumped. You
I'm
got
really excited.
a Ron Jeremy is all I gotta say.
Thank you. That's awesome. That makes me
Good job.
happy.
That's why I was late, because I was washing their stuff and trying to get it in the freeze dryer.
Nice.
That makes me
good job,
happy.
man. Great.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Dan. We
I,
tried.
Go
I
ahead.
wanted to shout out Snosberry Farms real quick. She met us right at the door. She said she's seen us at another one we were at, but didn't get a chance to say hi. So she met us right at the door. It was said hi. So we got a big hug. That was a good way to start off.
Love her.
whole
She's
time.
a big fan of this show. She watches
Yes, she
every
is.
week. She's not your grandma 313 in chat.
Love her.
I'm gonna-
much love out to her.
Okay.
I'm gonna dive into these shout outs as well because I got a whole box of goodies here to share with you guys, and I tried to not dig too far deep into anything yet, just so I could share them on the show. But start with Anything Grows. Some I believe they're double chocolate muffins, right?
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yep.
We've got not one but two hash holes from Dank Man Dan. One is the blueberry muffin with primal punch hash, I believe.
Yes.
A little something special. And also the Storm Shadow with GG4 hash.
How in the hell did I miss them?
I stopped at his booth early and nearly bought him out.
Appreciate you guys.
He was definitely out when I went.
Donuts went quick. We'll have to bring more.
Not one, but two Gooman vape, or I guess rosin cartridges plus
Those are
some
so
live rosin.
tasty.
Some
So
smash
tasty.
cake live
You
rosin.
did such a great job. I have to agree. That's so great.
They are really good.
Of
Really
course, both Mrs. Frigoli and I love the Snosberry Farms gummies.
good. Agreed. I got me a handful of them too. I love them.
Of course, we have the Trichome Forge Triple Burger. Yum, 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 yum.
Should we all do one at the same time?
Yes.
Oh, where's mine? But mine's empty. Can I still do it? Hold on.
We
I get it there, but mine's empty though, unfortunately.
I'm so excited to try it. It smells so good.
It's
not
so
one, but
great.
two party packs from Red Setter Farms.
Dude, one of those was supposed to be a gift. She gave it to you.
Well, I just took the whole box right now. Some homemade hot sauce.
Oh,
some,
nice.
Interesting mushroom type deals.
Okay, sweet.
So this is like what he calls essentially, it's not a multivitamin, but like it would basically be the equivalent of a multivitamin. There's only 0.1 or 100 milligrams of psilocybin cubensis, and then there's let's see, like 6 different other mushrooms I think in here, or other medicines, if you will. We got some Celtic cultivations chopped cherry hash. Got gifted a ooze hot knife, which is cool because I didn't bring my freaking dab tool.
Oh, that's badass.
We stopped by Armistice and got a nice little sample of some flour here. I think it's biscotti pie, and
Yes,
that wasn't from the show in neither of these. But also, I'm just going to shout them out. Finally got my hands on some Pedro terps. Pedro's Grow Room, his Trophy, Critical Kush, and Taliman.
How's that critical?
I've only smelled them, dude. I haven't literally
What's wrong
touched
with you?
anything in this box, man. I'm gonna have.
You got
field
that.
day with all
You
this.
haven't even tried it.
Tell me the
I would've-
terps you're getting off that.
I loved the
critical
2
drink.
seconds out of the bag, and I'm like, I'm trying it right now. What are you doing, man?
Terps on which one?
The critical.
Let me get back open.
Because that's his flagship, right?
Yeah, I know. It's the. It just smells like the Kush, man. Like that kind of. Oh man, I'm having a hard time putting my nose on the tail end. It's like it's not citrus. It's not citrus, but it makes me like want to start thinking in that direction. I think that front end though is just all that. I don't know, man. It's almost piney. I probably should just dab it. I will say I want to put it this way. I don't often get to try a palette of. This is going to get some heat. I don't often get to try a palette of hash rosin flavors from the same producer that tastes different. And these are significantly different. I think he did a great job on the terpene retention. The color is great. Like I said, I haven't tried them yet, so we'll see. But I'm sure they're awesome. But yeah, I think that was pretty much my haul from this week. Thank you, everybody. It was great to see everybody. I'm excited for December. I believe we have one or two coming that will be attending. I know there's one on the 16th.
Yep.
Although there's also like 3 or 4 events on that day, of course. And also one on December 30th.
Yeah, we're going to attend the one on the 30th.
Yeah, I think that's what we're leaning towards too.
Let's make sure I'm off.
We've been to just about all of them. I think we've missed maybe 3 total of the craft fairs. And this one, like you guys were saying, was the busiest I've ever seen it. Right away at 12 o'clock, there was a line out the door, and it was just bumping until, what time did you guys come? 4-ish? 5? 4:30?
4, I think 4 to 5, yeah, somewhere there.
We went to the pet store, and then we went there, so probably 4.
Yeah, we got there at 12:15, and there was already people walking out with their stuff in their hand. Like they were in and out of there. They knew what they wanted. It was just constantly busy the whole time.
We will sell out, and we have people come now like directly right away because they don't want to sell out. So it's like a huge rush right at the beginning, which is fine. But it was just a really fun day. And I got to see Red, so that's fun. He's not here.
Bonus. Put him to work.
I know. He was like feeling bad that I had to do everything, so he was doing all the work. So it was kind of nice.
Heck yeah.
Cool.
You guys are a great team. You work well together.
I got this Cherry Garcia from Indica over there at Green Shepherd. That stuff's real cherry. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. My favorite is the Oz, but I got to smoke the flower of that, and I fell in love with it then. So
He had Oz dabs.
Yeah. I'll
I
save
didn't
you
even
some.
see that. Yeah,
He was probably out.
I loved the flower. He gave me a bunch of that
I loved
a while
the flower
back,
too,
and I
fell in
was
love
like,
with it,
"This
so
is
that's
that
why-
old school shit."
Exactly. It totally is. I'll save you some. It's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Ooh, another thing we got. I totally almost forgot. We got our 2020 seeds, our free seeds for Ohio.
Yeah,
Our
cool.
snowblowers came.
Nice.
So
Are they films?
yep,
three,
3 of them. So
Sweet.
Those look awesome. I'm
Yep.
excited to see what those do.
Yeah, we're excited. Cute packaging too. It even said, what's it say on there? Congratulations, Ohio. Super cute.
Nice.
Hi, DOG.
This triple burger was really good.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's not the turpiest, but it's like the high's real good.
It was good.
It's good.
That's why I want to narrow it down.
I dabbed that stuff at late lunch or whatever, and I said, "Damn, I'm high."
Yeah.
I think I maybe did it too hot or something, but it was still so tasty. So it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll be fine. I'll recover.
Yeah, it's a
That's
good.
gotta get narrowed down though. That was the pheno mix, and then we'll do.
She's getting it now too, where it's cured, and that's where the flavors come out of it.
Yeah,
more.
that does happen.
It's right at the beginning that wasn't really there. Now it's
It
really
was
there.
a really sharp. It's a sharp, like smell.
Yeah. Dan, have you ever had, so with this triple burger mix, it was like 20, probably 22 or 23 phenos, I think. Afterwards, you know how the terps start pooling, and and then before, so he wanted to let it sit for a week, before he whipped it.
Yeah.
And before he did that, the terps reabsorbed into the mass, and so he still whipped it, but I didn't know if you'd ever had that happen. He hadn't had that happen, but he called his guy who taught him how to wash, and that guy said it happens sometimes.
Yeah, probably just the temperature that it was kept at, reabsorb those.
Yeah.
Some just turn out a little drier than others, and that's just the way it is. I thought yours had a great texture. You'll probably see that more often than not when you're not isolating individual cultivars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
They're just not homogenizing together well.
That makes sense. Yeah, you got a bunch of different terps. Yeah, instead of one or a couple. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. But yeah, so
Great.
hopefully soon I'll have a single pheno run. But we got the Spartan Puke.
We got that narrowed down, the triple burger, to, was it 6 phenos right now?
No, I think it's only 4 or 5.
4? Okay.
It's like 4 or 5 because there's 2 of them that are either 35 or 50. They got mislabeled, but I know they're 35 or 50, and I know I want 50.
Okay.
Because 50 got me higher than anything, I think. It wasn't the flavor blaster, but it was all right. It looked great, all right, but it was the high, I remember. So I'll remember that after we grow those out, and then
Nice.
then yeah, and then there's like the urinal cake #1, but then also like nobody but me had the 49, which was inside here, the ugly
Oh, that's
one.
right. I forgot about that
But
one.
that one turned out phenomenal.
Okay.
So yeah, it's gonna be a hard choosing. But I'm hoping to grow like, oh, I hope we can do like at least 2 or 3 of each, so that we have enough to send away.
Yeah, get a decent run of it and be able to have a
Yep.
single source run. I like that idea.
Make them a little bigger. Yeah.
Who's walking into Becca's house behind Becca right now? This is awkward.
You surprised me.
Welcome home, Red.
You surprised me. Okay, I'll be back.
That's awesome.
Back from the hunt.
That's why DOG was going off.
I didn't see him dragging a deer in. What's going on?
No, I thought I heard him. I thought I called him earlier, and it sounded like he was in the car, but I was in the car. So I was confused.
3 minutes ago, he says, "Cheers, everyone!" in chat. He's probably in the car.
Yeah, parking it.
Okay, but I'll be right back.
We've been baited.
Yeah. That's
I've
what hunters do.
I've got some hunting tales to share with once Red gets here, I guess. If anybody's interested, I don't know if that's appropriate for the show or not.
I saw a deer head today.
Was it attached to a deer body?
No, it was behind the dumpster at work. I was putting some cardboard in the dumpster, and I was like, "What's that?" Oh shit, that's just the head of a deer.
The hell?
Yeah, so I hit on my boss. I was like, "Yeah, you put this deer. He's been trying to get a deer the whole season with a bow." But I was like, "You put this deer head here or something?" Because gosh darn it, Kyle was supposed to get that. Like he left it there for his buddy to get or something. And I was like, "Oh well, it's still here." It's just like it's like staring back at you, but
tongue's all hanging out to the side, probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
But yeah. So that was my hunting experience of the year.
Dan, do you hunt, or anybody else on this panel?
I do hunt. I haven't this year, but I do enjoy hunting.
I was gonna say, you gotta have some big deer up by where you're at.
Actually, the big deer down south, believe it or not, there's some big deer up here, but they're more prominent down in the farm.
You gotta get them corn-fed deer.
Yeah,
buddy. Yeah.
Well, I know. Jackson County is, I think, number 2 on the list.
Hillsdale is really good, I think.
Let me pull it up. I know MLive put it on their Instagram not too long ago.
What list is this?
This is like where the most deer. It's not the biggest or anything like that. I know Jackson has some huge deer, but where the most got taken this year in the archery season, because everything gets tracked and reported now in the last 2 years.
Good. They constantly have to hire the snipers to come in and shoot them out of parks and stuff too.
Here we go. Let's screen share this guy.
Big bucks over in Maine and moose. We just says.
So see where the Michigan bow hunters killed the most deer so far. This was what, 4 days ago? So probably opening day. Yeah. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. This is the arrow I wanted to click. All right, there you go. Jackson number 1, Lapeer number 2, Sand Lake number 3.
See that baked? We're number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say represent, dude. That's why we got the dead deer all over the place.
That's right. We hit them with our cars. We shoot them with bows.
Well, I see them on the road almost daily, dead. You know.
Yeah,
So
most of the counties are south, so.
Yeah. I thought, some of these were kind
I
of.
got deer in my yard. I think.
Bake feeds them. He doesn't realize they're like mosquitoes up here. He's up there feeding them and letting them fucking get fat. I'm like, what are you?
I mean, I'm feeding them too. They're eating my garden.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to encourage that behavior. You want them to get the fuck out.
Not unless
you yard deer. No,
them, you know what I'm saying?
Yard deer. It's not a yard deer. Yard deer are the little like statues.
So here's the bottom 10 counties.
Keweenaw. Crafts. That's a weird name.
Marquette was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of population there.
Up north counties.
Yep, a lot of up north counties. But yeah, so that was the
there's
little report.
They're just harder to find up here. They're the big ones.
It's because they ain't reporting them up there.
Well, I was gonna say that, and there's they're also competing with wolves up there. Wolves will take out a lot of deer too, and I know the hunters aren't happy about what the DNR decisions, or what the DNR has decided in the last few years in terms of not being allowed to kill wolves or as much as they'd like to, because they'd like to harvest their deer.
Yeah, but you can kill coyotes.
I also believe our hunting population has dwindled. There's not as many hunters as there was in previous generations, let's say, which is a shame.
It is, and I was sitting there. Well, here's part of the story. Sitting there field dressing a deer tonight and thinking about just that. I'm like, will this be passed down? And at what rate is it? Because it seems like it's definitely at a slower rate.
For sure. I can tell just by the lack of hunters we see up here that we used to when I was growing up. It was red orange coats everywhere. Now, few pumpkins out there. It's a shame.
I agree. Even in my short, I suppose, 30 years, I started probably going back. I take that back. My dad started taking me in the woods when I was probably 4 years old.
Yeah.
Like camping, shit like that. To go bow hunting, tail me along. By the time I was really 7 or 8, I was getting up. We'd do the Thanksgiving dinner at 2 a.m, 3 a.m. My dad would drag me out of bed, get in the truck, van, head up north. Same section of woods we've always been. At the time, it was a 3-hour drive. It's speed limits have changed since then, and we get up there and we go straight into the woods 5 and 6 in the morning. With the headlamp on, get into the woods and just sit. I'd be freezing ass cold. I fucking hated hunting. I hated getting my ass drug out of bed. I hated sleeping in the car. I hated sitting in the woods, freezing ass cold in the dark, in snow. I really didn't. And then by the time I was old enough to work and drive and do all these things, I really lost interest in it. I didn't like doing it. And I can see where a lot of the youth doesn't like doing it, maybe given how they're put into it or whatever. Now that I'm older, I got older. I turned about, 22, 23, 24 years old, something like that. And I just started appreciating, what the deer camp was. Because it wasn't just that, my dad was going hunting. He was bonding with his sons. He's got I have 2 older brothers. They're half brothers. They have different mothers. And, he needed to go spend time with his boys. And I realized that, life is finite. We're not on this planet forever. And that those were good bonding times to have with my siblings and my dad and all these people who our connections may not it lasts forever. You know, we will in spirit, but you know, and so I really began to appreciate. You know, I also became a little more interested in just nature, right? I think that all of us have that in common. We all grow plants. We're all into microbes in the soil. It's definitely not something that I was really into as a kid when I was skateboarding and, you know, going downtown Detroit and, you know, running amok and doing all of that. It's something that I, you know, evolved into, like most of us. And I really enjoyed hiking and learning to navigate woods and the thrill of like hearing animals, you know, like you guys were talking about the turkeys last week on the show. You'll hear owls, you'll hear cats, like, you know, we have bobcat and shit like that up here. You'll hear turkeys.
Bobcat in Michigan?
Yeah, we have all kinds of like large cat predators.
Bear, there's packs of coyote.
Packs of coyotes as the sun's going down. And I'll tell you what, like you can't hear far because the trees deaden sound. And so when you hear a pack of coyotes and they're yipping and howling and hooting and they sound like they're getting closer, they're getting fucking closer. You know what I mean? And they're getting really fucking close. I had that experience just the other night, and the noise came from, you know, 100 yards away from me where I was sitting earlier, you know, just maybe 10, 15 minutes earlier. I don't know if they tracked a scent or what it was, but
Coyotes were gonna get you?
I don't know if they were going to get me, but they were definitely yipping and yapping from the area that I had came from. And it's the thrill of it. You know, it's part of the thrill. It's part of the thrill is wandering the woods at night with a headlamp or, you know, whether it's the early morning. And another part of the thrill is, you know, what Frigoroli over there, a successful hunter, taking 2 this season. Sorry to spoil the party, but I'm happily congratulating you, Frigoroli.
Thank you.
I have good messages from Frigoroli. He's almost gotten a hat trick here. With my combo license, I can take 2, and they're selling doe tags by the dozen, so you can get.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bag limit this year on doe, are there?
No bag limit. You get $5 doe licenses statewide. In our area, we're very we're not restricted. Basically, our restricted tag is like 3 horns on one side, so you can get a combo. You can get 2 deer, one of them being a doe or a buck, and the other one has to be a buck. But a kid, you know, in some areas of the state, it has to be 8, 4 points on one side. In our area, it could be 3 points on one side. So some areas it can be 2 points on one, depending on how they really want to call the herd. But calling the herd's important because not just traffic accidents, fatalities, and things like that, but there are diseases that run wild, like tuberculosis, chronic wasting, et cetera, et cetera. And once that stuff kind of gets into the population, the meat is tainted, so to speak. The DNR does a good job of tracking. They recommend you to drop off your deer's head, register all of your animals, and the proper hunters, go about that, and that's where they get all that that information from on your local state's maybe DNR website, or for us it's like michigan.gov/DNR or Department of Natural Resources.gov or anything like that in your state will show you a whole plethora. So, I mean, if you're into, like Dan, he's into snowmobiling, you'll get your snowmobile tracks, all lined up all throughout the state. And a lot of those go through our forests. And those are great areas that I'd like to hunt on. I like to walk down those snowmobile tracks and those ORV trails and hunt off of those trails. You get a good sense of direction when you're doing that. You have maps available to yourself, and learning to navigate with, now that we have technology, and I do use this thing out in the woods. I'll ping location. I get to look at GPS where I'm at in the woods. It's a lot easier to navigate through the woods. It's still fun to do with just a compass and a map, but
don't undo it. Okay, just be careful.
I do appreciate all you out there that go for that self hunting. Congratulations!
Quick.
And your harvest and your bounties. I was not so lucky as usual. My brother did get a 9 point. He opening day.
That's awesome.
Got a 9 point. Actually, at lunchtime. So
No way.
for those that don't follow hunting, there's like a traditional way of hunting where you go in very early in the morning when the deer are nocturnal. So by like 10 o'clock, they start laying down. At least in theory, they start laying down and sleeping. And they sleep until just about dusk, and they get up and start wandering the woods again. And my brother was out at about noon when most hunters are, taking a nap or eating lunch or something like that.
Eating second breakfast.
Actually, to be honest, we're getting up at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning and getting out into the woods by like 11 o'clock. We do afternoon hunting. We just kind of make So opening day, we were out in the woods. Really, we just because it's kind of hanging out with the brothers and bonding.
Yeah.
Drink, have a little smoke, stay up till 2 in the morning, maybe 3 in the morning. It's difficult to get up at 5. Actually, get up at 5 and you're like, I'm not legal to hunt right now. I have to go back to sleep. So, it's kind of one of those things.
Fair enough.
That's the bonding portion of it. But on opening day, we did get up at an appropriate hour. We were in the woods before sunrise, before shooting hours. And then I didn't see anything all weekend. It was kind of a bummer. The only thing that I saw was in my truck, and I almost hit it last night coming home from the Clio event. And here's the thing about not the Clio event. I'm sorry, I've passed through Clio fucking twice, 3 times, 4 times this fucking weekend. The Fledge. I'll get those shout outs. The coming home from the Fledge, they're like 20 miles from the cabin. I'm cruising. I turn on my headlights. I'm on 65 going north. The speed limit's, it's an old 55 mile on a road, but the speed limit's now 65 on those roads. So it's a 2-lane highway with a very fast speed limit. I had my brights on, and just for like this very split second, I all of a sudden thought of it. I was like, damn, deer are about to be popping out of the woods right now. And I got my brights turned on. I'm going, poof. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I thought about deer popping out of the woods, 2 deer popped out of the woods and started just slowly walking across the road, enough that I had to fucking slam on my brakes. And it was just almost close enough to having to fill both of those tags that I had sitting in my wallet. Broken both of my $600 headlights and a fucking $1,200.
Yeah.
What I mean? So it wouldn't have been worth the $40 deer tag that I had in my pocket. But actually, and then getting home about a mile down the road at the golf course, there was a buck that was like, "Ha ha, you motherfucker!"
Every time, dude. Every time.
I'm a bitch.
Well, now it's because you want it too badly, so you gotta relax a little next year.
Yeah. Well, I
get up a little earlier.
I enjoy hiking.
Put your window down and just.
I really do. Yeah,
definitely illegal.
It's definitely pleasurable, no matter if you bag one or not. Just watching.
And that's it. The fact that my brother got one was game on for all of us to just be excited. And so we had our celebratory. There's a deer hanging at deer camp, and it turned into beer camp. And so we had our fun that night. And the last couple of days, I really wanted to bring home food. I mean, I have a very, very a great passion for self-reliance, or self-sustainability, or doing that. And hunting wild game is a great, especially if you're a meat eater. You may not be a meat eater. If you're a meat eater, hunting wild game is a great way to nourish yourself. Now, I'm not dogmatic about this, but I prefer to hunt the forest. I've never hunted private property. I've never hunted farmland specifically, and I don't have anything against hunting farmland. I would, if I have the choice between the two, I would prefer to hunt in the forest and get these. It's a skinnier deer. It's not a big fat. It's not as much fat, but in my experience, there is a slight flavor difference by it not being as fatty. And some call it more gamey. Yeah, some more gamey if it's acorn fed deer. But I mean, bugs, acorns. The biggest thing for me is that I know there's no glyphosate being sprayed in the forest. There's no chemicals. At least not in the last 60 years when they planted the trees. And I really think that they're doing everything naturally. But in the cornfields, they're corn fed. They're a little bit fatter. There's a fatter content in the meat. There's
more of them. Typically.
There are more of them, and that's the thing. Where there's a large population of the deer down here, and I live in this zone, right? We're surrounded by cornfield, and we call this the shotgun belt, where the bottom half of the lower peninsula of Michigan. So here's the lower peninsula of Michigan. This half of the lower peninsula,
south of Bay City, basically.
You're required to only hunt with a shotgun. Anywhere north of that, you can hunt with a rifle.
Tell us why. population density.
Yeah, population.
Yeah,
I assume it has something to do with the firepower.
A round from a shotgun maybe goes 200 yards. A round from a rifle can go over a mile. Like
so there is a restriction on you can't shoot with rifles down here. So there are like handicaps in both ranges, right? You get more deer down here on a cornfield line. You're going to see a dozen of them out in a field. You can take your picking, but again, you can only shoot accurately for a couple of 100 yards. Whereas a rifle, you can be 200-300 yards away. My dad's taking deer at 200 yards, no problem. And that's just a little bit of that access up there. Now, they're starting to clear cut a lot of the forest up north. They're selective clear cutting. I'm not sure if they're using it for fuel wood. I'm not sure if they're using it for logging, probably a little bit of both. But there's also a really cool habitat up there. My brother told me the name of it. It was like the weeble. It's a weebler, some type of a weebler bird, something like that. And this bird nests in the pines in northeast Michigan. And that's the only places this bird nests. And it migrates to the Bahamas. It's this cute little fat bird, and it looks like a little chickadee or a little sparrow or something. But it's fat. It almost looks like a quail or like something like that, but a little tiny finch. It's super cute. It's got a little red belly. I saw them bouncing around all in the forest. And but yeah, they're protected, and so they actually will clear habitat for them so that young pines will grow up because they won't grow underneath the old jack pines. There's no brush. The canopy's 100 feet in the air. There are these like straight telephone poles of trees, and then the canopy's up top. It's very cool to watch.
Yeah, there's like 3 feet of pine needles. It's like fucking you're walking on a sponge.
Yeah. The forest is amazing. It's all moss, pine needles. There's tracks everywhere, and what's really cool is you get into the forest, and then it's like a little highway of game runs, game trails, deer trails, whatever's running up and down. There's probably bears, Bigfoot, whatever's just kind of crunching along up there. They use those. They're compacted. Nothing grows in them because it's compact. It's just like like a human trail, but they're wild game, and those are really interesting things.
That's why I look for pine trees for my tent. If I'm looking for somewhere to throw my tent, I look for a pine tree because some of the best fucking sleep ever is underneath because you're on top of pine needles, man. And it just feels like you're on a cushion almost.
It's so fluffy.
That's so smart.
There's a great fragrance and aroma of pining. I have to clean out the truck in a minute, and I'll probably do that in a little bit. I'll hang out and smoke with you guys. But I brought home a baggie. Today I kind of sucked. Today I went to the woods this morning, and there was somebody hunting in the spot, not my spot, but in the spot that I'm regular to be hunting at least all weekend. And I was kind of getting through the woods, and there's a campground, and I like to hunt this campground and then beyond the campground. So I was trying to go beyond the campground and then take a trail back to the cabin.
Did you just say you like to hunt the campground?
Yeah. I like to hunt the campground.
Wow.
That's exciting. Not 4 campgrounds, but the camp. It's empty. Actually, they were doing work all weekend in it. So
red hiding behind tents and shit.
Dude, this was the strangest first couple of days in the woods. All right, so this is probably a big reason why I didn't see any deer. So the first day we're up there, which I guess was Monday of last week, we're bow hunting and wandering through the woods. Well, there's like wood chippers and shit going on in the campground, so I can't hunt this campground. They're doing some work over there. Later on in the evening, all the noise and ruckus stopped, and I'm hiking through the woods, and I get to the campground, and I see what's going. Like they're selective cutting trees like crazy in this campground, and they're just falling all over. You know how the campground's got if you've been camping, there's a campground has a loop, campsites, every so often, little bathhouses, water stations, all that kind of shit, right? It's all closed up for the winter. But there's stacks of logs, brand new stacks of logs everywhere, and like fallen trees all over the road, all the way around this fucking thing. So I'm like, all right, that's what the wood chipper noise is all fucking day. I get to the other side and do the thing. I go back the next day, and it wasn't cleaned up any at all. And I go find a spot beyond the campground, right? And I'm sitting there in 10 minutes after I'm sitting on the campground actually in the morning, before the sun comes up. I'm sitting in the campground waiting because it's wide open. You get the road, you get the campsites, everything, and I'm just kind of waiting while the sun's coming up. And I waited until about 10 a.m., something like that, and I moved on into the forest. And I'm in the forest kind of just boogieing around, and all of a sudden I hear fucking leaf blowers. I'm like, motherfucker, you know what I mean? It's like 100 yards away from me, leaf blowers. So I get out of there and I move on somewhere else. And then it happened again the next day, except the leaf blowers kicked on at like fucking 9:30. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, all right, so I'm gonna stop messing with this area. Go back today, or actually, the leaf blowers are going on, and then all of a sudden, it was kind of windy, right? And the wind was coming out of the south. It was really warm. The wind's coming out of the south. You can hear the trees. It's fucking beautiful here. And it makes it's really loud. You can't hear footprints or anything. All of a sudden, I'm hearing wind roaring coming from the south. What the fuck or coming from the north? What the fuck is that? And for a minute, I kind of got spooked, and I started thinking it was like, I haven't seen the news. I haven't seen what the fuck's going on. I'm thinking it's a fucking like a nuclear blast coming through the woods. I'm thinking something is fucking happening. It's getting louder. It's like a constant roar of thunder. And I'm thinking just the forest is getting annihilated. And I'm getting ready to fucking duck and cover. I didn't know what the fuck to do for a second. All of a sudden, a fucking military drone followed by a fucking F-16. And I'm on the Asaba River. I'm right on the bluff of the Asaba River on a fucking trail. Military, they're fucking cruising in the fucking tree line on the river, right? And I'm on a bluff. So I'm like level with this fucking drone coming busting by, and I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck was that? Then an F-16 like maybe 100 feet above me and over just a little bit comes fucking flying by, and I'm like starting to shake, you know. And then all of a sudden a fucking Hellcat directly fucking above me, buzzing the fucking tops of the fucking jack pines. My dad the day before was like, did you hear that jet? And I'm like, no. He's like, man, I'd be sitting up in the tree stand, you know, 10 years ago or whatever, and they'd come through buzzing the fucking trees, and you'd get rocking in the trees. I'm going, no, I've never had that happen. That's fucking crazy. Well, that happened the next fucking day. Like, and it was fucking crazy. I was shaking when it was done. Me and my nephew, we were talking truths, you know, and the phone's listening. I thought I was getting evaporated. I didn't know what the fuck was
bro. That happened to me this summer.
Drone was coming at my bright ass orange. I was like,
they're seeing more than just orange. They got the heat signature and everything. But when I was up there kayaking this summer, man, the same thing happened. I didn't get the sequence of 3 different the drone and F-16 all that, but I had one plane fly super, super low, and I could hear it. And I'm like, is that a boat coming down the river? No. I'm like, is that a train? What the hell is that? And then I'm sitting in my hammock, dude, enjoying my time on the river, nice and peaceful with my buddy, and then right over us, dude. It was terrifying, and I could not pull out my camera fast enough. But then it's just,
yeah, I couldn't either. I had, you know, honestly, I'm lucky that I didn't accidentally like look up, like point up at the, you know what I mean? I was like, I had, you know, like,
I'm very certain that they do that on purpose.
I'm sure they saw my orange from a fucking mile away, and they were like, let's get this fucker. Like, right. Can you do that? Hellcat was right over my trail, fucking over at the tree line. I could have fucking threw a rock and fucking hit me. It was wild. And it was so loud, and they were fucking buzzing at about a Mach 1. It was crazy. That fucking drone is not small. That thing is fucking huge. It was bigger than the F-16. It's fucking gnarly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they come in all sizes.
Gnarly.
So before we get off the topic of hunting, I am going to share my stories and a couple quick pictures. So yeah, thank you, Red. I did have a very successful season. My season is basically over unless I want to go out and get a bunch of does, because I did fill my 2 tags. It's the first time I've ever done that, so I'm pretty proud of it this year. Opening day, I had the fortune of holding off pretty much all archery season and morning on spikes, 4 points, small doe. Like, you know, we do hunt on private property for the most part, and it is, you know, private property that's pretty much surrounded by farmland for the most part. Some rivers and woods and whatnot around there too, but one of the one of the things we try to do in terms of deer management is not shoot anything less than a 6-point deer in terms of bucks. And if it's a doe, it better be a big doe because, the older they are, the more likely they are to become a problem in terms of population control and all that. And of course, the bigger the deer, the more meat you have to take home, which is really the purpose of it all. And so I've never really hunted for trophies or anything like that. I don't have any racks hanging on my wall. I don't have any heads hanging on my wall or anything like that. But I got a couple this week that I think are probably at least somewhat worthy of it. On opening day, shotgun where we're hunting, I was able to very quickly and cleanly kill an 8-point deer. From my deer blind, I guess, if you will. It's an elevated deer blind. Watched the spike, watched does, had little button bucks and yearlings and all sorts of deer. I actually at one point had 7 deer in front of me, but none of them were, kind of worthy of the shot. It was very apparent that the rut was going on because in comes this buck and out he went. And then in he comes, and all of a sudden he's right behind this doe prancing. They're just like prancing through the forest. It was hilarious. And then out he comes into this clearing in front of me, and he's just facing me head on. So, there's no shot or anything. And I waited and waited and waited until finally he turned and poked his head up like he was about to go somewhere. And that's when I got him. He immediately dropped, unlike archery, which is you're doing a lot of tracking. This is the first time I've never had to track a deer whatsoever or look for it whatsoever. He didn't move an inch. If you're, this is not a squeamish photo, but if you don't want to see a dead animal, like some people don't, just, I don't know, fast forward a couple seconds, I guess. Let's see. Where is this screen?
They got fast forward a live video, man.
They are cool.
A lot of people are watching this after the
Close
fact.
your eyes.
Yeah, close your eyes. So there we go. That's the it looks like a 6 because there's a couple small ones kind of behind it, but
It's a nice one.
yeah, that's one. And then like Dan said, there's the deer, tongue hanging out, of course, always. Okay, so that was the first deer opening day. Slapped that tag on there. Field dressed them, took them in to get processed. I'm gonna get some lots of burger, backstrap steaks, and then I'm getting maple breakfast sausage. First time doing that, and then a bunch of
summer sausage, hunter sausages,
Hawaiian pineapple teriyaki summer sticks.
Oh, dude.
And I'm gonna have so many that I'm gonna have to share. So I'm looking forward
sign me up for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing with those. And then everything else will just be ground. And then this time I'm normally just grind it by itself, but I'm taking the recommendation. We're doing 1 pound of pork fat for every 10 pounds.
Good choice.
And
Is that for burger? For the burger?
Yeah, for all the ground burger. Yeah.
It'll patty up so much better.
Yeah, and I mean most of it we use for chili and tacos, honestly. So you don't really need it. But if we're doing burgers or anything else, that's
good in spaghetti too. Super good.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't tried that yet, to be honest. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I've nominated for Growley to be the host at the next chili cook-off there. With all that,
he did text me that earlier.
Congratulations on a very large abundance for your family. Like that's huge. Think about that. What like? Did you get a combo license with $40?
Yeah, 51 with the base. I think it is. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, the deer license is $40, and the base license is basically a base license that covers small game and everything. So
you have to have the base license, whether you're resident or non-resident. Non-resident pays more, but it's $11 for a resident. And yeah,
that's a recent change, though. Yeah, right. That was they used to be separate licenses, didn't they?
Oh, okay, yeah.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
And you could get your base earlier in the season if you want to go small game hunting out of
fishing.
Fishing license.
That might be
and some people are like, oh, that's kind of expensive. But if you think about it, $40 for, you're going to get a lot of meat. You're going to get pounds and pounds of meat.
I'm gonna fill a deep freezer, if not more than a deep freezer.
And you're gonna.
That will last you quite a while too.
Yes, it will. And
use some back straps. You can put them in your slow cooker, your smoker.
And your terps are gonna suffer for a moment, and your stomach is gonna thank you. But eventually the terps will fill that space again.
I just got to stay on top of the turp processing.
Yeah.
I do have 2 deep freezers, and the one I put the food in is not the one I put the
there you go.
flour in, just so everyone's clear on that.
And
But I might have to rent space out from Bake's freezer, that massive 30 body freezer he's
Put
got.
sections in it.
I do. I think that's a great thing, man. Congratulations, because it's a wonderful abundance. So I mean,
So yeah,
that's the herd.
That's
That
gotta
is-
feel good to fill a freezer though. That's a good feeling. I know, even like when I would save up and buy like a half a cow and fill up my freezer, I'd be like, good now.
Yeah, and there are processing fees associated with that, right? When you take it to someone that's going to cut it up. If you're not doing that yourself, which you certainly can. I've got a book right behind me that tells me how. It's just it's a timing thing. That deer I took, then that was in the evening, actually probably half hour before, maybe 45 minutes before the end of the day's hunt, legally, where there's a certain time limit. I think it's about a half hour before sunrise and a half hour after sunset that you can legally shoot your gun at an animal. So I had about 45 minutes left in that time. Processed them, hung them up on the buck pole, and then the very next morning at 7 a.m. I loaded them up in the truck and took them to the butcher because it was 64 degrees that day.
Fucking warm.
Yeah, and your meat is not going to last very long in a 64 degrees sunshiny day, unlike today. And so here's my next story.
Nice and cool.
Today was a very interesting one. I haven't been fortunate enough to take a deer off my own property yet. Today I ran some errands with the family, had some brunch, and kind of ran a Tractor Supply, got some feed for the chickens, and kind of was prepping, filled up the gas tanks, and was prepping to do a bunch of yard work. I got a bunch of leaves I got to mulch. So I was gonna just drive my tractor in circles for a while, basically. And so I grab my gas tank and I go to head out to the tractor, or the lawnmower, and I hear a tap at the window behind me, and I turn around, and Mrs. Frigoli is doing this at me through the window. And I thought she was just doing the Bullwinkle ears or whatever. So I almost did it right back to her, like, haha, and she just points like this. And I'm like, oh. And so I turn around and I see a deer in our backyard. And, it's a ways to the back. It's, got some acreage. It's not like, you could see everything in our backyard, but it's not like it's far enough where I couldn't just take a shot right there. Right. And so I'm kind of looking, I'm peering, and I'm like, she said it was a buck. Is it a buck? It's got its head down. It's kind of behind a tree. It's eating something. So I'm kind of waiting, and picks its head up and looks at me. And I just see these horns, poking out like that. I'm like, okay. So I go grab my camo jacket with my orange vest attached to it, throw on my orange hat and grab the shotgun. And I just walk right back out that door.
For the internet people, he didn't do any of that. He just grabbed his bow. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's gun season. I get it, but it's it is what it is. So at least I don't have it hanging out behind me in the corner. Callbacks. So I
2 minutes to hash time. Oh, 1 minute.
Walk out the door, that same door that I was standing next to when I saw the thing. Closed it. Started make my way through the backyard. Walk down the side of the property. I'm still watching him. He's not looking at me. He's just eating. There's not, there's, like I said, there's a bunch of leaves everywhere. So I'm trying to avoid crunching those up as I'm walking. Keep walking. I get maybe within a few hundred feet of him. Like, all right, I guess I'll have to crouch down here, and start like moseying on over, This whole time, Mrs. Frigoli's looking at me, watching me in the window. So she got to witness this whole thing live. And
did she got it on a camera? Tell me she didn't videotape it. What is she doing?
I know. She was too in the moment too. I said the same thing. She's like, it's just so crazy. She said I look like Elmer Fudd. If that gives you the perspective in your head of what's going on here. So I'm creeping along, like Elmer Fudd style, and I finally get close enough where I can confirm like the points and everything like that, and that he's that it for sure is a buck. And
saw the ball sack. You're like, okay.
yeah, I wasn't that close, but
there's 2 balls even. Okay,
yeah, I don't know, at least. And then and he's kind of not facing me again. It's not like a good shot or anything. And he finally like picks his head up and kind of turns as he does it. And I just boom, this one, much like an archery, my experience with archery shots, even if it's a perfect shot, he bucks up, takes off. I just stopped and listened and heard him, just hammering through the woods. And he kept going, for a few seconds, and I kind of heard it fade out, and I didn't know if he just went out of range or what, and so kind of like, all right, hopefully it was a clean shot and everything. I hope I didn't miss him entirely. And I'm kind of thinking like, dang, did I like bang my scope in the last couple of days and or the red dot rather, and now it's like, shooting 7 feet to the left or something, who knows? But so he took off into the neighbor's property. So I got to go get permission from the neighbor to even go on his property, right, and look for this thing. So I go over there, knock on the door, and of course the Lions game is going. So he's just, chilling, watching the Lions. And he's like, yeah, man, have at it. Go, go. Good luck. It's like, you don't got a whole lot of light left. And so I go back there and start searching, and got to the point where, I didn't see anything immediately, which sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And I didn't see any blood or anything like that. So naturally, what I like to do if I don't see anything like that is I like to just start following down their trails. They have, like you guys mentioned before, game trails, and these game trails are very beaten down. Often you can just see the hoof prints. It's just hoof after hoof after hoof, and especially if it's a little bit muddy, and they're very worn in. And so I literally just crouch down and try to make myself about the size of a small deer and start going through the woods in these little brush thickets, trying to look for blood or a down deer or anything like that. 20-30 minutes in or something like that, I have no idea where I'm at. I don't hang out on this property or anything. So finally make my way back out of it. I'm like, all right, this is what I got to do. I got to go back to where he was standing. And, because I watched him run into those woods. I thought I had a good idea, but coming in from a different direction, all that, I'm like, I just got to go back to where he was standing, get my perspective and my bearings, look at where he ran to, just follow that trail. I still hadn't seen any blood, which was surprising to me. And that's the point at which I was like, okay, for sure, knock my red dot, like, things off. I'm not anywhere. It's like, I'm a moron at this point, Start making my way back into the woods, and the exact path he took, maybe 50 yards from where I shot him, he was laying, and only within those like 10 feet or so did I see any significant blood trail, and it was significant. And in the woods there laid Mr. 8-point number 2, which was this guy. If you want to share that, Big, there you go. My drawn on glasses don't.
That's a beautiful deer.
Oh, that's a nice one right there, man.
Yeah, he's even bigger. Honestly, he's not as big as me weight wise. I was able to drag him out like a.
Very nice.
He looks kind of wide shoulders.
He's got a thick neck, dude.
That neck, I was just gonna say that neck is super.
Yeah,
really
he's probably all rutted out.
Yeah, I bet he's probably $180 or something. He's huge, like just.
Do you dress him out?
Yeah. My that knife set I showed you guys a few weeks ago, that's needs to be bleached quite deeply tonight.
This is some sweet shades, bro.
Thanks, man. Method 7, shout out.
I like that. It's like some Beatles glasses.
It's actually like Method 1s.
Method 1s, they're the originals, man. The prototype.
For Growley Lennon.
Get those.
For Growley Lennon. But yeah, so use my tags. We'll have a bunch of meat to feed my family for the months to come, and share with friends like you guys and the neighbor for letting me use his property. I'm like, for sure I'll send some your way. And it's just it's a good feeling. Hides? I don't do anything with the hides.
Sometimes your butcher will buy them from you, or whoever's.
Oh, I'm sure they're using them or doing something with them. I'm sure they're not going to waste. It is a local like butcher. I
used to work for a deer processor up here in Grayling, and it was 2 of us. We'd knock out a deer every 20 minutes.
I believe it, dude. Hell yeah, nice.
Hanging, yeah, they would be hung and cold and everything for 24 hours. But yeah, there's a company that comes through and buys all them hides up, and they do various things with them.
Yeah, it was the book I've got. It's like, shows you all the cuts and what to do with everything, and it's like, don't forget the hide. Obviously, there's a lot of uses for that.
Yeah.
I could probably think of a handful.
Gloves, tying flies, and a lot of uses out of those.
Becca just said she'd go hunting with me.
I've done it before.
Couples date, let's go.
I said Friendsgiving at your place.
Friendsgiving.
I literally, with my phone on that same spot I was standing when I dropped my gas tank today, I took a picture on my phone of 3 bucks, 3 I think 8-pointers, all 3 of them standing in the same spot, hanging out together. So there's definitely some good deer. I mean, I've never seen that in my life. 3 8-pointers just chilling. But
it's still kind of rut season.
Right now it is for sure. Yeah.
Skunk Ape is talking about deer leather being very soft. My dad has a little bag that he keeps his I was gonna say musket balls, muzzle loader balls in, and it's made out of a testicle sack.
It's his ball sack then, huh?
I think they're called shot.
Ball sack, yeah.
His deerskin ball sack. That's fucking dope.
Shot sack. Ball sack. Yep. Deer shot ball sack. Yep.
What a perfect use.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah.
It's dried
Yeah.
out.
I don't know. No, it's not dry. It's.
I'll tell you what. This one today. This one today had some hefty boys. It was impressive. I mean, I took two 8-pointers in 5 days. And both 8-pointers, you guys just both saw them both, but one was definitely bigger than the other. It was interesting.
They're nasty. They piss all over themselves. All horny and stuff. Yeah.
I wanted to shout out Armistice. I wanted to shout out Armistice. I enjoyed some of the biscotti earlier. I forgot to say. But man, that was thank you for Growley for that connection. It was so cool to check that place out. We're going to have to, I was telling Baked and asking, I'm like, man, we need to come back and maybe get some footage in here. He was like, please do. So we're going to have to maybe do that. I was thinking out or whatever, but
maybe we do another MBGS tour like we did with Winewood and just film it and and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'd be okay with that. He's he'll make sure it's all meticulous for us.
I don't doubt it, man. But that place is beautiful. I mean, it's like I'm kind of, I love like old buildings and stuff like that, and that's like in Lansing, in an old train station or something. It's like
across from the train station in an old meat packing plant in Rio Town, and we estimated 40 to 50 foot ceilings in some of these spaces. Just these beautiful brick archways. Now it's right across the street from the local city electric company, which is wild. Yeah, the rest you can talk about that. You get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I was like, that is the biggest flex I've ever seen it grow. It's like we got our own power plant across the street.
Literally a 6-story steam turbine rocking like 500 or like 300 feet.
Hey, we don't run out of power. It doesn't matter what happens. Power comes up from under the fucking river outside.
Yeah.
It's steam. Insanity, man. Yeah, but that place was amazing. And I love the I didn't want to say common sense, because it's not common sense. It will be in the future common sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the smart approach that they've set up with their controls in their rooms, with the reheat that they've got going on in their rooms, instead of dehumidifiers, you go into a big grow room with high plant density. I mean, high plant density. Oh
yeah, it was thick in there, man.
And you don't see big commercial dehumidifiers hanging from the ceilings. Super, super cool. Super impressed. I told him I liked how he did the air circulation in the rooms. You didn't see like oscillating,
And, dude, he does a great job. There's 3 of them, and I call them the 3 J's, Jack, Jacob, and Jason, and they crush it. And he told us last night they were fans of this show, and the Grow Tube and stuff, and that's kind of what brought them up and gave them the part of which gave them the courage and the inspiration to come up to Michigan and give it a shot in the license market. And this is their second build out in 2 different cities, and this one has a significant potential for growth, and they're already building into it quite well. They've developed it and advanced it much further than it was when I saw it before they even took over. And yeah, man, Armistice is doing it right, and they're putting in their heart and combined with, like Tara was saying, that work ethic, which not everyone has, and all the knowledge and skills they've built over the years into really trying to produce like a craft level quality product that they can put on the commercial shelves. And they're not just trying to like pump out product and flip profit, like it seemed like so many are.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very personal kind of thing for them, being, so close to the end result,
Everything was just quality oriented too, I mean, they like at the Trichome Forge, the same walls. They had the same damn walls that we had down there. And it's like, okay, we are of like-minded individuals here.
Yeah,
we're making the same choices, But to see it at a bigger scale was just like, this is fucking awesome,
Yeah, and still rocking the HLGs. They've been very successful with those, and they've, he showed us he's used a lot of different lights in the past. But man, it would be cool to see some really advanced GML fixtures in there, maybe even for just one of their future rooms. Enough to convince them that they need to
the HLGs and see how they differ. I'm sure.
Yeah, because they're continuing to build rooms, and they're going to need. Well, I guess they don't need more lights. You saw how many lights they have, but
right.
But
they don't have a lot of limitations. Maybe power in the long run.
Yeah.
But they have height, so they could go up even if they didn't want to go more than what they have in floor space, and they have a ton of that.
Mm-hmm.
Such a cool spot, man. Such a cool spot.
Yeah, not well over, but over 21,000 square feet.
They had docks even, so like you can bet you could get semi loads in without
full potential for vertical integration. I think Lansing right now is limited on their provisioning center licenses. I think they're already maxed out, and so they would either have to like acquire one or move someone in, kind of, who knows? I don't know, work with somebody or whatever.
Right.
Lobby the city to open up more,
Yeah.
What do you got over there, Tara?
I just got done smoking Dro Grows and strawberries and cream for hash time.
We did too. It was really tasty.
Yeah, cheers,
Oh,
Dro.
it's creamy. It's so good.
Thank you, Dro.
Thank you so much.
Yesterday.
Out, Dro. Sorry we missed you, man.
Yeah.
A little late.
Yep.
It was good to see him.
Yeah, it was
good
really
to
good.
See everybody that we did see yesterday. It was a really good turnout, and saw lots of people, met new friends, so that was awesome too.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that showed up. It was amazing.
So that's the same strawberries and cream cut as what we have, Tara. It's I like it.
It's good.
Shout out to Third Eye Craft Affair, man. I love what's going on. Just to provide a spot for people to do that is awesome.
They were asking people, I don't know if you got asked when you walked in, if you preferred a Saturday or Sunday, and I was like, I don't care what day as long as you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said Saturday.
Yeah.
I like the Saturday.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
There are some people, we do have some people that come in that are like, oh, I work every day except Sunday. This is perfect.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
With it being the busiest of Saturday, I wonder if they probably want to do more, because I don't think they've done many Saturdays there, have they?
They haven't.
Just the traveling ones.
Yeah, the traveling ones have been Saturdays.
Or like one of them. Just one, I think.
Yeah, maybe just one.
I would say the only downside to that location is the parking. It's not terrible. It's just not ideal.
There is a parking lot.
Yeah.
Across the street, and
it's just challenging to get to that one across the street.
Yeah, it's challenging
Florida.
to go up on Michigan. The entrance to it's on Michigan, so you kind of like have to know how to get there.
Once you do it one time, you'll learn and figure it out.
Yeah, so like
I liked it better than the Vehicle City parking.
For sure.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a parking garage across the street, and there's like a hospital or some medical center that's closed on Saturday and Sunday, so you can just park there. And it's right. It's like right literally across Eureka
You just have to-
Street.
you have to go around.
Yeah, you just have to like go around and get on Michigan and get back in there. Let's see, Daddy Red is in chat. Shout out Daddy Red. He's awesome chef, man. He's cooking it up all weekend with some awesome food.
Oh, I bet.
Of course, he's found us that cabin for the last 8 years. We've been staying at the same place for the hunting or for the opening day week. I mean, I usually don't go up there for a whole week. I usually go up there for 3 to 5 days, over the years. But this year I went up for a whole week. Thankfully,
8
Becca.
days.
Well,
Oh,
7 days, Sunday to Sunday. I mean, come on, left last Sunday, and Becca held it down. But I came to the Fledge yesterday from up north, and then drove back up north where they were all at. And I gotta say, it was a great turnout, and I'm really, really happy and thankful, super thankful for everybody's support that came out. I mean, God, man, everybody came out. I can't even shout you all out because I'm afraid I'll miss somebody. And it was just, it's fucking all you guys. All you guys are fucking awesome. Thank you very, very much.
When I did my shout out on IG thanking everybody last night, I forgot Troy. I forgot Nuttree. So
I mean, man,
I remember everybody, and then he's like, "Wow, you didn't even tag me."
Tara, honestly, I gotta thank you and Blue Kiss because you guys came over and hung out with Becca and helped trim and held it down. And you guys are
We were
fucking
happy
for
to.
helping out. And I really appreciate
We
you.
had such a good time.
Yeah. Dude.
I noticed Dan and Nuttree are wearing their hats. Very looking sharp, guys. Looking very
I
sharp.
was like, should I put my hat on over my
I was wondering if everybody was going to wear theirs.
Well, I did get a picture with Russ and Baked and myself all wearing the hats with Jack from Armistice inside the grill. That was a great photo.
I got to tell you, man, they're a classy ass hat. They're very
They
well.
are.
Good luck
Yeah,
keeping
nice.
it that way.
I'm only going to wear it for the show. That's what Trish said.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
And no, I guess I already told you, Red. I did find a large hat, so I got one. I'm on your way. You're muted.
Oh, I'm muted to talk. I said, thank you, man. I won't dirty this one up, and I'll be sure to.
Yeah, share it with someone else, or like maybe Becca could keep it as a backup hat for when the white eventually gets marked with like a permanent marker. Like, I don't know, maybe just
marker
rag a permanent marker across the top of
Is
it.
that your new hat?
One of them.
Because your old hat had the fingerprint or whatever.
Yeah, the dab spot right there. No, this is there might be one up there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I just got to do one more hunting thing, and then we'll continue to keep going on. But do you hunt a tree stand for Growly?
For bow season, I do, and that's the only type of stand I have in my yard. So yes, if I was to hunt in my backyard there, but today it was a stalking type situation. And I will say that
it was a yard work situation.
Well, a yard work turned glassing, turned Elmer Fudd type situation. And then tracking. I don't know.
Success.
Tracker. But no, yeah. I appreciate a tree stand because it gets you up high, gives you a lot of visibility, and also gives them a potential for seeing you and kind of exposing yourself or whatever that way. But I've done this before and it sucks. The worst part about a tree stand, and maybe the only thing other than it's kind of dangerous, the worst part about a tree stand is when there's bad weather, you are just fully exposed to the elements. And I've been in one of those tree stands that's like in between fields, like in a very thin property line strip where there's nothing else around you, and it was just raining sideways, and I'm just sitting there like, I hate this so much, but other than that,
they make those like tents that are on stilts now.
Yeah.
Like, those things just like take a wind splat, just fucking flip out, man.
I get way too much wind from the farmlands and stuff around here.
I don't ever see them tied down.
We were looking at Christmas decorations today and just laughing about the inflatable like Santas and snowmen and stuff. I'm like, those things would be 3 miles away from here in a quick jiffy.
Can you imagine seeing a flying, floating Santa? Oh, geez. And like followed by its reindeer, and oh my goodness.
Maybe that's where the
I'll blow.
Santa thing came
Yeah.
from.
I used to sit in a tree stand with Daddy Red. Daddy Red's in chat. Daddy
Oh,
Red
a double.
when I was a kid, man. And I would follow him around the woods with a fucking book in my hand. And we would sit, and he'd sit for a long time. He'd tell me to stalk, walk real fucking slow, look around, sit for a minute, whatever, get up. I prefer stalking. I just like it. It's something that I like to do. I'm actually, I could get up in a tree stand. I don't like climbing vertical. I like ladders. Ladders are cool. They got a little angle to them. They're slanted, whatever. Climbing vertically up a tree. I got 3 really, really good stories here. and so I'm like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old. We're putting in some tree stands for my brothers and my dad. And I used to, when I was a kid, I'll go into the first story first. When I was a kid, I'm asking my dad, how did I get up into the tree with you? Because the trees, the climber, the runs between the climbers are like a grown man's length. And I recall climbing up there, but like getting up into the stand, I'm like, I don't know how I was getting up into the stand. And he said he used to put me on a rope and pull me up. Like, I don't know if that's the real story or not, but
the bow pulley, he just attached you to the bow pulleys up there.
I rope to my waist and pulls me up.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know if I remember climbing it.
Swinging free, hitting the trees and shit around.
You held on to the rope.
Lower it up. I guess that's how I go. Probably why I don't like getting up in tree stands. But I used to sit at the base of my dad's feet and just sit there. And he would hunt. We'd be sitting up there for fucking hours, dude. And
so it wasn't a double wide, or wait. Oh, you were okay. So yeah, you were sitting at like on the
platform. My dad had all of his tree stands like manufactured by welders and shit at work, and he had like a wooden bottom tree stand at once, and he had some homemade tree stands back in the day, and they were 2.5, 3 feet wide, just a one man tree stand with a little seat. I'm not kidding, man. Down sitting at his feet underneath the seat. You know what I mean? All curled up, just sitting there reading my book all fucking day.
That's amazing.
Snacking.
You must be the most patient child ever. Holy crap.
Pee? All right, let me lower you down to go pee. Go take a shit in the woods. You know what I mean?
I was just thinking, what the hell is he gonna do? What else is he gonna do? He's up in a tree. He has to be patient.
So now I'm like 10. That was when I was a younger kid. You know what I mean? Now I'm like 10 or 11. We're going to find tree stands, and he kind of puts me in a tree, but he's putting tree stands up for my brothers and himself, and he's climbing up this one tree, and he's getting it all secure and everything. And my dad's got old Ford seat belts that he would get.
Nice.
Daddy Red's retired Ford machine tradesman or machine repairman, and he would get seat belts and shit and get them all rigged up for tree climbing.
Perfect. That's exactly what they are.
Yeah. So he's working on the thing. The bottom of the tree stand collapses on him. He fucking gets wrecked into the fucking tree and is like dangling there, and had to like get himself over the climbers and get down and repair the fucking thing. Me and my brother are just like, we can't do it. We're like, what the fuck? Oh shit. You know what I mean? David's big guy, and so we get down, and later that day we're going to put in another set of climbers in a tree stand for my brother, and we get around the area, and my brother's got tree climbers like screwed into the tree, and it's into a pine tree.
Can you explain what a tree climber is? Because there's a lot of different tree stands out there, and people probably have a different idea.
The first kind of climber, again, was just like, think of like some square steel stock with like a foot, a little triangle, like foot pegs sitting out of either side, and like they're staggered. They're staggered on either side of like a center vertical line. Okay, so that's one tree
telephone pole with the posts just sticking out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that would be the other kind, but this kind, you belt to the tree, so you carry these fucking climbers.
Oh, like the manual active.
Yeah. So they're like 5 foot sections, right? 5-6 foot sections, and Daddy Red got them again some steel welders at his work, weld them up for him, and he like painted them all camo and stuff, and he had he kind of like hit him with like some black and green and shit, and spray paint, and you'd like belt them to the tree. You tie them up to the tree, and they just rest on, up against the tree, and you climb these steel. You stack them, like so. There's like 3 sections. You get about 15 feet up in the tree, and you tie them as you go, and you climb, and you keep going, and then you hook up your tree stand. And you do all this shit and whatever. It's fucking ton of work. I've never done it. Or fucking watch him do it. It's a ton of fucking work.
I've done it once. It's awful.
Yeah. And the other kind of tree climber that he was doing this is the first time he fell out of the fucking tree stand, right? He was using the steel climbers, and those were set, because he got them manufactured. Yeah, those are set at his leg length. He's used to doing it. We're only like 5'6", 5'8". I'm 5'8". My brothers are, and we're not that tall. We got short legs, and we're all torso, and we get up. He gets up into my brother's got long legs. He's got the kind of tree climbers that are screwed into the tree. Think of like those little wire, like gauge, round gauge steel that are like bent. You'd like screw into the rafters of your garage and hang a bike on or something like that. Somebody might know what I'm talking about. So he's got like it's like a little foot peg you screw into the tree with these like, lag bolt style screws every like, I don't know, dude, like 36 inches or whatever the fuck his leg length was, My dad's trying to, my brother can't get something secure on his tree stand. So my dad's going up to help him secure something on his tree stand. And I'm fucking around at the bottom of the tree, and my dad just fell out of a tree. So my brother's like, come on, get out from underneath him real fast, And no more than like a minute after he pulls me out, one of the tree climbers came out of the pine tree. My dad came flying down like fucking 10
Oh
feet.
my God.
Fucking back in front of me, dude. It was fucking crazy. How do you fall out of 2 trees in a day? And now we joke about it. We joke about it like crazy. So, it's really like, over the years, it's whatever. But during the day, man, he fucked up, wrecked himself. He didn't get injured once. He was totally cool. Thankfully, everything was fine. He landed in like that moss that Spartan's talking about, the pine needle fluff. And, thankfully not a fucking downed oak tree or something.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But
or a fucking rock, man.
I made a joke because they needed a hatchet to chop up some beets to toss them under the next tree. My dad jumps in, and he'll come down and crush them. So that's always been the running joke. And
wait, say that again. You something about a hatchet and beets. Say that.
The running joke was they needed a hatchet to cut up some beets, and I said, just throw the pile of beets underneath the next tree that Dad's climbing up, and he'll just crash down and crush them.
Okay, funny joke, but I have a question about cutting up beets. Why?
I'm not sure.
I'm
really not
sure.
What's that?
Maybe for the smell.
Release the fragrance.
Release the VOCs.
Okay, that's understandable. I will say somehow they always seem to find them.
Or maybe to break up the pile and scatter it, maybe.
But okay, so here's the reason I like sugar beets, and I assume that's what you're talking about, not like the red
sugar beets.
Yeah, we're talking about bait for deer, not for you,
Good bait. Baiting's
here's why I like full size sugar beets for the deer, Spartan, is because corn they just sit there and slurp up like it's soup. Which is a very common feed or bait or whatever, like whether or not that's legal depends on the year, quite frankly. The carrots, you'll see all 3 of these things at a lot of gas stations in rural areas.
Apples,
corn, yeah, I guess that's 4. So apples, it's another one. They love apples. We've got a lot of apple trees, so they just eat those apples all year, all fall long. And then carrots, they really love carrots, and they'll smell those really quickly. It's actually a really, really fun time to take pictures of deer. If you're not there to shoot them with a gun, you shoot them with a camera, because they pick them up and they chew them and they look around and they look like they're just smoking a stogie the whole time. They're just a big old orange stogie sticking out of their mouth. Sugar beets, though, those things can get huge, and we're talking like pounds and pounds, like I don't know, 5-10 pounds or something. Some of these sugar beets, those ones, they love them. They love them just as much as anything else. But they can't pick them up.
They got to work at.
They put their heads down and they eat with their heads down the whole time. So especially in those moments where you're stalking, you're trying to creep up on them or something like that, they're not paying attention to you. They're just down there eating their food because they're just loving life, right? So that gives you the opportunity to get a little bit closer, move a little bit more, whatever you might be doing. That's why I was curious why you're talking about. But yeah, again, those things get so big that like even if you cut some of them in quarters, they're still not gonna be able to pick.
They're like this. They're like little soccer balls. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Coconuts.
Yeah, coconuts. That's a good
soccer. Yeah,
this time of year too with pumpkins, especially if you can get people trying to throw out pumpkins and stuff because it's after Halloween.
Did you see Morganja's post?
I did not.
I didn't either.
Oh my gosh,
You
guys!
see all of his pumpkins to his pigs?
No, yeah, well, sort of. Hold on.
Yeah, when we raised pigs, we used to do that. We used to get all the used pumpkins and feed them to the pigs. They loved it.
So baiting is outlawed now in Michigan. You can no longer bait, and so the feed stores are loaded with beets. There's a mountain of beets in front of this one spot on 65, and yeah, they were everywhere. I'm sure that they're still.
Wow.
Look at this caption. When I see a field of hog feed sitting going to waste, I stop in and ask how much for a load. $30, and that should be enough hog feed for
Look at that truck. Did you see his truck? The back of his truck?
Full, dude. Trailer full, bed full.
Beautiful.
Take more.
Take as much as you can.
Yeah, I'd be going back every day, man. There's a lot of pumpkins there, and that's that rural farming life stuff that like makes its way to TikTok and Instagram that I just love because it's like farm hacks or whatever.
My neighbor was stuck on his roof. Asked for a little bit of help. He saw us pulling in. I don't know how long he was up on his roof, but he saw us pull into the driveway. And he's like, "Hey, I need some help!" From across the fucking highway,
Been there 4 days.
Sure, fucking hope not.
My ladder fell.
I was about to cut off my arm.
I need water.
He had only left the screws in his cart down there, but he's elder, and he's unable to. He's not that mobile, and shoes were kind of like ripping apart. I'm kind of like, man,
how I feel bad.
Ladders, the porch that his ladder's getting. He's trying to sell his house, and the house is kind of like breaking apart. He's got the ladder up on this like shifty looking porch, and then a ladder from the top of the porch going up to the top of the roof. So he's got 2 ladders. So I'm like, he did some work. He got both the fucking ladders up there. You know what I mean?
And you forgot the nails.
And then he forgot the nails. So he's up there with his hammer and a shingle trying to fix the fucking patch in the roof. And so he's like, I need some help, so he's got the nails down there. So I go grab the brand new box of nails. I climb up there and get up on the fucking shifty roof and get up on his roof. And there's a lot of fucking, the roof needs a lot of repair. You know what I mean? It's pretty soft. And he's just driving nails through the shingle, you know what I mean? Just to get it in place. He's just wrecking at it. You know what I mean? I'm like going, oh man. And we're going out there to get to the farm, and so I'm just like, doing whatever, and
we try to be clean.
Yeah, we try to be clean. I'm all up in his oak tree. He's got, I helped him out, and I helped him down. You know what I mean? He gets done with the hammer and shit, and I help him down. You know what I mean? And I get him down onto the ground, and got to trudge through his farmland, put his ladder away, and do some stuff. So whatever, I helped him out a little bit, but he gets done. He's like, how much do I owe you, for helping him out?
It's exactly what I was going to ask. Did you try to stuff $5 in your pocket or something?
I literally just moved a ladder, you know what I mean? And like helped him down.
That's that generation though, man. I'm telling you.
He's like, how much do I owe you? And I'm like, dude, can I have a couple of your pumpkins? He's a farmer, and he's always got tomatoes and pumpkins on his road. He's got a roadside stand, you know what I mean? He's got a bunch of pumpkins just rotten. Can I have a couple of pumpkins? He's like, oh, take them all. And I go, I just want a couple. We just took 2 of them, So he's a really, really nice guy.
You took 2 rotten pumpkins?
We saved some of the seeds. No, they
weren't rotten. They weren't rotten. Most of them.
Oh, okay.
Like the 2
you found some good ones. I got you.
They were little.
I was like, what are you gonna do? Compost them?
Little sweet pumpkins. You know what I mean? And he's got all.
Pie pumpkins.
Oh, pie pumpkins.
growing.
Yeah.
Make pumpkin pie.
I
Little
actually
pie pumpkins,
saved
man.
them all. I one quarter of one of the pumpkins I gave to the chickens, and they ate the seeds and all of it.
And the short on YouTube blew up. It got like over 10,000 views. It was
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
Nice, guys.
yeah.
There's a big chicken community.
And then the rest
yeah.
of it, I dehydrated a bunch of pumpkin squares, and then I cooked a bunch. I roasted a bunch and froze them in little pumpkin cubes for the dog. So I'm just like using
Nice.
Give him some pumpkin
Completely.
snacks. Pumpkin's good for you. You can puree it and jar it and preserve it and use
Baby food.
it.
It's a unique flavor. It's unique for sure.
And it's good for you. Squash is good for you, and especially in the wintertime when you need a lot of those minerals that you're lacking. Those kind of foods preserve well, and they help us sustain through the winter months. And yeah, I like pumpkins. I think they're very, very well. Mainly, like you're gonna get a lot of good nutrition through that, but you're gonna get a lot of nutrition through the seed. The seeds something that we roasted up. Becca made a great ass recipe of fucking pumpkin seeds. We soaked them to get any of the foam
Tara
off.
had some.
Oh, did you try some, Tara?
Oh heck yeah, I did. I couldn't keep my hands out of them.
Oh, I mean the pumpkin seeds out of the
Same
pumpkin,
recipe.
but same recipe. Okay, cool.
Oh,
yeah.
they're
Becca's-
good, that recipe.
Becca got some pumpkin seeds shelled from the store and used that recipe and made some really, really
So
fire
tasty.
pumpkin seeds too. So that's another great preservation piece. A little bit of sustainability on the topic.
On the same topic, I learned recently, I haven't tried this myself, but they say you can take a leaf, how there's gigantic, but you could take one leaf and you can get a pot of boiling water and you can boil it like greens, and it boils off all the little white hairs off of the leaf.
Yeah, little pecky stuffs.
Yeah, and then you can eat it like a green, and it's good.
Oh,
for you.
shit.
Huh.
Yeah. So it gives you like more food production out of a plant that's already giving you a gigantic
Yeah,
swell.
there's a lot, man. There's a lot of leaf material in those things. It's like some of these like mammoth sunflowers. I wonder if you could do the same with that, because there's so much leaf material in those things.
I wonder, man.
The
I wish you
chickens
could.
really like
Chickens
sunflower
really
leaves.
like them. I'm sure there's a lot of really good material in there. I'm not sure if I started talking about it, but I brought home. I kind of did some foraging. I was definitely hunting deer, but I mean, I saw some good stuff that I just couldn't help but forage. And one of them was white pine needles. So you identify white pine. They're the longer needle, fluffy kind of needle pines, but there's also jack pines that do the fluffy needle pines. Well, the white pines have, for every like pack of pine needles, there's 5 of them. And for the jack pines, there's like only 2. So they're like spaced a little further apart. So I'm looking around, fucking trying to identify pines and hunting. So I'm like, oh, pine tree, oh, deer, oh, pack a little bit of pine needles away. And then there was a wintergreen up there. Any of you Kodiak dippers, and that smell of wintergreen.
What's that mean?
Kodiak is
It's a tobacco, a chewing tobacco.
and
Grizz wintergreen.
so
Skull.
Wait, what did you
And
bring?
what else is there?
I brought home a baggie of pine needles and wintergreen so that
Just
we can
soak in vinegar?
I mean whatever we want to do, but we have a whole bunch of herbs.
We're gonna mix it with tobacco.
Put a chow in there.
Back.
Oh, damn.
Sure. No, it's that smell though. It's that flavor. So it's kind of minty, kind of I don't know.
Good for tea, man. Make some tea with it.
Yeah, that's totally the plan. That and the pine needles.
Is that
The
for sure what it is?
white pine specifically is medicinal, inflammatory, etc. Yeah, it's totally.
Becca
find
doesn't
out.
look convinced.
Psychoactive.
That one
I
is,
didn't gather it, so I
Yeah.
just need to be sure.
So, well, no, literally every plant I cracked every
Trust
one
your
and I made
partner.
sure, because there are lookalikes of it that I don't think are poisonous, but they're just not wintergreen, and they're in the same.
Whoa, bringing up the P word. Jeez.
Oh,
It's
and
a
then
scary world out there, okay?
and then the
I take a picture with my camera on my phone, and then I just have it Google the
Yeah,
picture,
yeah,
Google
I
image
feel
it, and it'll give me okay, I got it or I don't.
I'm terrible. Maybe I just haven't updated my phone. I know
I don't know.
my brother told me I need to update it, but I don't know.
Probably.
But yeah, so the wintergreen is for making tea. We're gonna dry them out. This is her first time hearing about either. So, and then same with the pine needles. We're gonna dry out the pine needles and then use those in our teas, or soak them in vinegar. And then I was even thinking of making hydrosols with them as well and using them for essential oil. But it's a very nice mint, and it doesn't. It's a little creeper. It's a creeper, but it's in the forest. It's a canopy. It grows underneath the canopy, and so it's just a couple of those things that I've found wintergreen in the past. And just a very pleasant, like cooling smell. It's almost like that cooling mint. It's very nice fragrance, and the same with the pine.
It's a type of mint.
Pine with it's a different type of mint, yeah. And then the pine for the alpha pinene, and then there's some other things going on with the pine needles.
I should have known early on that I was going to be into terps. You telling these stories and facts about making tea out of plants and stuff like that. I'm just thinking about this field trip we took in, I think it was 6th grade, and it was like an overnight field trip, and we stayed at this campground. And one of the things, we were all broken up into teams. It was us and another school, and we were all kind of intermingled with this other school and broken up into teams and sporadically sent out into the forest. And we were told to go boil water. And we're like, okay, here's a pot, here's some flint and steel, go boil water. And so we quickly figured it out, made a dry patch, dug in a little bit. We had our pot and packed some snow in there, got a fire going, started boiling some water, and we're kind of looking around and like, why not? And I picked some pine needles off and threw it in our pot of water, and it just instantly made this beautiful, delicious aroma hanging out in our little like campsite, of the like 3 or 4 of us or whatever. And the guide comes over and he's like, oh, like great, you guys I see you guys got the boiling water and everything, and it's like, you guys cooking something? and I'm like, oh yeah, I just threw some pine needles in there. He just looks at me and he's like, kind of shook his head like, okay, I don't know what he was thinking, who knows. But here's the thing, I freaking hate tea though. I don't know, something about the traditional tea that I just don't like. I like the idea of tea, but
it's like tea, herbal tea is different than like tea, because tea is usually tea leaves, like black tea or green.
Yeah.
And those have different flavors, but like hibiscus, lavender, mint, so good together.
And then if you don't like it warm, try it cold. Like especially the mint ones, I like them better cold than warm.
My favorite thing for doing is usually using mint in just about it. And mint for like a base flavor, and then adding like the other herbalism botanicals.
I like ginger as the base, man. I love ginger and everything. I was
gonna say ginger also. That one and lemon. Ginger and lemon is I was drinking ginger and lemon all week, and actually since we've harvested our ginger, it's kind of been constant. But
he already ate all the ginger, drank all the ginger.
For the tea portion, I'll muddle ginger in the cup. And then the tea portion, I'll do a mint base, and then we'll throw the what are the calendula?
Echinacea.
I like putting echinacea in it. I like putting. She added some hibiscus leaf to the last one that she made up when I went out on deer camp, and the hibiscus leaf turned the tea completely purple.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, cool.
Yeah, it was really cool, and it was a really good flavored tea.
I also put
nothing like gray. Sorry
to cut you off. I also put lemon, basil.
Yeah,
and I love the flavor so much.
You guys are right. Like your types of teas, I've seen you guys at your place at events. Like I've seen you guys making these teas multiple times with different like just random things, right? And that's I'm down with it. When I look at it, it makes me think of a mojito. But it's a tea. It's better for you.
it's
adding. You can just use honey to sweeten it if it's something that you don't like.
Yeah.
Just throw honey.
I need to get some beehives, guys.
And what it is, it's basically taking water soluble.
Red Becca's got one.
Ingredients, let's think terpenes for one of them, because we're getting the flavonoids,
Mhm.
And it's taking those terpenes, and rather than smoking those terpenes, you're putting them in a hot water and ingesting them, through a water soluble action, so you're getting the effects. If you're using lavender in your tea, you're going to get that linalool, whatever water soluble.
Chamomile is really good before bed. Helps you sleep.
It's we grew our own this year, and I dried it all, and cracking the jar open smells so good. Smells so
The chamomile, my big complaint with chamomile is a thrip magnet. Oh my fucking god. There's always thrips on the chamomile. Always.
What's the main terp in chamomile?
I don't even know.
Ooh, that's a good
Let's
question.
look it up, because I bet it has something to do with
very fragrant, but it has.
I think it smells fragrant.
Sedative properties. It has healing properties. Let's say anti-inflammatory or pain relief.
When it cures, it really
visible.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. Visible.
Well,
So
like
good.
Spartan brought up the ginger. I also like adding the ginger because it's anti-inflammatory. I like putting it as many anti-inflammatory herbs, and that's why I brought home the pine needles. It just helps, man. We all got some sort of pain, when we start getting a little older. I got arthritis, in the fucking neck. So I'm trying to fucking kick that. I've been trying to with diet as much as I can, and then pushing these herbal, and topical medications, and it's been working like a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Chamomile should be added to it because I'm reading about bisabolol, which is the main terpene in chamomile. It's a terpene alcohol. It said that it's anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial property.
I was gonna say
Used
this
to treat stomach
website's
problems,
interesting.
dermatitis, and minor infections.
It's good.
It's in Gelato. If you've had Gelato a lot.
Did you say it's a lot?
No, Gelato.
Oh my god. Okay.
Strain.
I should pop those Gelato seeds.
Who's out here popping Gelato? Jesus.
Gelato. I have these Gelato by Archive Seeds. That should plant. Was it Slurricane and Dozy-Do? Is that what it is?
I've grown Gelato.
Gelato.
Yep, grown it.
Very enunciation. Good job.
Yeah, we got to be very specific. Wrong talk here, Jesus.
It also says it has, this is difficult, epigenin, API, GENIN, genin, epigenin.
Epigenin. I'm not sure.
Epigenin, it's a flavonoid that's also found in chamomile and has been shown to have anti-anxiety and sleep-promoting effects.
There it is. Yeah, slightly sedative. Yeah, they're relaxing. Yeah, nice. Thanks for that, Spartan.
I love having
Or,
100% homegrown teas. It's just so good.
Our male plants, we saved some volunteer males or whatever. And honestly, I'd save some week 1 or 2. Starting to crown, and when I was bottoming some of the outdoor plants, I saved
baked
2 of those for crushing up and drying out, and then adding that to teas specifically, not for smoking or extracting or doing anything else, but water soluble extraction. You steep your tea, 10 to 15 minutes, much shorter of a time than you do with a gray tea or anything. You're not really worried about getting it bitter. You want to extract. Yeah, you do it longer. You want to extract all of the nutrition out of it. It typically won't get bitter because it's not that type of tea, that does fall into that category. These are other botanicals that are sometimes just dull flavors. Like the chamomile. That whatever those terpenes are, they're not very pungent or aromatic. Now the hibiscus. That one does add some flavor, you get a flavor to it.
Is there too long? Because what I'm picturing for you guys is what I see at some really fancy hotels where they've got this giant vat of all clear glass. And it's 5 gallons of probably 4 gallons of ice and about a gallon of water, and then a ton of fruit and stuff mixed in with some again, a giant mojito is what I think of, right?
Things, dude. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys need one of those on your countertop or something. Right?
Check it out for Girly. It's easy as this. This is my little routine.
Gatorade container. I've got so many of them.
You just take a mason jar, which you already have, right? Which
So many of them.
Most growers do, right? And you boil some water, you fill, and then while that's getting boiled, you go out and you hopefully you have a garden full of all kinds of different herbs, and you just go by your nose. You go by what you smell. If you got some lemon balm, if you want some lemon balm, and you're out there like you're baking, you're mixing flavors.
Yeah, there you go.
And take, okay, I want a little bit of lemon, but I want a lot of bit of mint, maybe, or I want a little bit of. I like to grow stevia every year. It doesn't come back, so I have to plant it every year, but I don't care because it's a alternate sweetener that doesn't add calories.
And
you can only use so much honey before it's like, all right, I'm getting way too much sugar here.
And now that we have 10 minutes,
you just throw all those in that mason jar, and then you put the boiling water over top and close the lid and let it sit for like 15 minutes so that you can touch it again and not burn the shit out of yourself.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
It's like standard canning process is what you're talking about, right?
No, and then you undo the lid and you put cheesecloth over it, and you just screw that on and you just strain it out, and there's your warm tea. And if you don't want it warm, you put it in a pitcher, or you dump out the plant material into your compost.
So do you have to do it warm, or if you did a cold steep, how long would it take to do a cold steep?
You'd take longer.
I mean, that's okay. What if I got 24 hours? Do I need more? Do I need
that? All you got to do is open up, take a sip, and then you'll know if you want more.
Touche. Good point.
You definitely don't want too hot. Like there is a point where too hot will affect the alkaloids. You don't want to like burn the
things off.
Phytonutrients. Yeah, you don't want to cook phytonutrients or alkaloids that you're trying to extract.
Cold just takes longer. I think that's all. Like I think because mint, it will come out. It just takes a bit longer for it to really get in.
That's why you like the mason jar tech, because you just seal it all and nothing's escaping, man.
Guys, I'm taking 3 days to like prepare and cook some meats, right? Like marinating and like smoking and whatever. Like I'm okay with taking a day or 2 or 3 to make some water. You know what I mean? Especially if it's going to make it phytonutritive. What's the word?
My curiosity would be that the plant material would begin to break down in the water. So I'm not sure how long you.
Well, okay, now we're talking ice hash. Dankman Dan, would you like to explain this to us? Do we need to put it into maybe a 5-gallon bucket with some bags, or
They definitely make steeping bags that large. They cost a pretty penny.
Are they reusable? Can I spray them down?
Yeah, you could get something called a nut milk bag. They're large, like filter bags that you can use.
Okay.
They use it to make, like, if you take almonds and to fill up a bunch of almonds in it, and then you pour water through it, and it keeps the almonds in the bag, and then what filters out is your almond milk.
I think as long as you keep the water super cold, the plant shouldn't start to die or decompose or anything. So it's just got to stay at that super cold temperature.
That's what it seems like. Maybe if I had a chilled vessel, that'd probably be most ideal.
Just fridge. I think
it'll
be fine. As long as you don't.
I'm thinking water hash again. Sorry.
Yeah, but those will add entourage effect to your, think about terpenes, in lemon balm, limonene, right? And
it's really good in there.
Eat some oil that'll enhance your entourage effect. Similarly, like mangoes with myrcene in them will, or adding peppercorn with beta caryophyllene will. Any other phytoterpenes or phytocannabinoids, just all of these things found in nature.
I think that especially the mints are really good for the cold. It's just like such a refreshing taste with the mint in there.
Dude, this time of year I'm drinking hot water all the fucking time. All the time. I'll put some lemon in it sometimes, depending on what I'm eating. Other times I'll put, the teas. I'll just soak plants.
Cinnamon's a good one. If you're cold, cinnamon's a good one. It's a warming herb.
That's what I was thinking. Like cinnamon, brown sugar, all these like delicious. I mean, I know brown sugar is not a.
You don't need brown sugar, but just
I know. I'm going down this path of delicious warm tasting flavors, right?
Absolutely. It would add. I think brown sugar would be delicious with even a mint herbal tea.
I mean, brown sugar is delicious with anything, but
brown sugar would be delicious.
But I'm thinking the cold path. I'm really trying to stick to this cold path and what might really come through on that. And it's not like any of those warm, like fall flavors, right? Like hops, cannabis. Like, could we?
That would work.
Right? It seems like it. I mean, you're washing it essentially at that point. Sorry to keep going to Sir Dank Van Dan over here, but like, why not add some?
If you don't have a strong flavor, it has to be strong, because if it doesn't have a strong flavor, then you're just going to get that chlorophyll flavor, and that's it.
Okay, so here's one. When you wash cannabis, if you wash purple cannabis in ice water, that ice water will turn totally purple. So
why?
Happened tonight to Tara's.
Anthocyanins are water soluble, and they're being.
Well, Abolish Farm used to make the Kool-Aid. Yeah.
So there is a quick water solubility with at least anthocyanins and purple pigments coming out of the plant.
That tea.
Yeah, it looks like wine.
Yeah.
So maybe what was it? Hibiscus makes it purple. Like maybe do some.
You could also do a lot less, like just like one little bud or like just a small
just
amount.
like a quick paddle, like a quick wash and drain it. You know.
What you're gonna get mostly water soluble wise out of cannabis is gonna be like chlorophyll and anthocyanins. I don't think you're going to get a lot of. You're going to get whatever other plant material, maybe.
Not so much the cannabinoids.
Yeah, no, you're not going to get cannabinoids because they're not water soluble. They're fats. They're all fat soluble. That's why you need to use butter.
So we're breaking the heads off, though. We still had to like steam it out, right? Or well, I guess we didn't have to sieve it out. We could just leave it in the water, but
had heads in the water. I mean,
stir it up, drink it with a straw. You're just drinking heads for the first like 5 sips.
Just adding heads, which would give you THCA and whatever
in your mouth.
It'd give you, you'd be getting a lot of like acid form of your plant material.
Shake well, refrigerate after opening.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's all good stuff. I mean, I think the plant should be consumed raw.
Have you guys ever concentrated ginger? Or not? Sorry, not ginger.
You don't need to.
Oh, sorry. Not concentrated ginger. Concentrated garlic. I'm getting my G's mixed up. Concentrated garlic, and for whatever reason, I used it as an IPM reason outside. But have you guys ever used that in water? Like just because this is where I'm going with this, because I didn't have to heat it up.
This sounds not concentrated. Oh, you boiled the water off or something?
No. Okay, so this is what I did. I took a small, like 1 gallon container, let's call it, and took a bunch of smashed up garlic and just threw it in there for about 24 hours. And then I strained all that off with some cheesecloth, and that was essentially my concentrate. I used that 1 gallon to make probably 25 gallons worth of spray, and just sprayed property lines, plot lines, farm, what's the word? Like just basically where I was trying to keep deer and, things off of my plants.
Did it work?
Temporarily, until it rained or until it was like a couple weeks later. So it's like one of those things you definitely have to reapply. But it temporarily did work. I haven't used it this year, but I think it was a year or two ago. I used it pretty aggressively and I noticed a difference.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I haven't used that because
not that I would drink
usually
garlic tea though. It
usually don't think to use garlic in my herb.
I love garlic.
I eat garlic. I like to cook with it.
Baked would drink a garlic tea.
It's more on those Italian herbs and spices.
Garlic and lemon. I like garlic.
Raw garlic will get you going.
I got some garlic tea in the.
Where are we going?
Right
Where's
now.
it get me going?
Oh, soup.
I like garlic for roasted garlic.
Okay.
I like roasted garlic and put it on garlic bread. Oh,
that can make it good.
It
doesn't just have to be herbs, because you can also use vegetables and then cook those and then add herbs to that vegetables, and then now you have soup. You know what I mean?
It's funny how we always end the show with
food.
That's so funny. Good observation, Dink Van Dan.
Absolutely.
So
everybody go to the kitchen.
Eat your terps, drink your terps, and smoke your terps.
Yep.
Consume them any way you can.
100%.
and keep growing your own in your own house.
Right, definitely keep growing.
At home.
Yeah.
And the people in Ohio, congratulations! I didn't get a chance to.
Congratulations. Keep growing.
Yep.
Keep growing.
Go Lions.
Start growing.
Michigan.
Oh yeah, how crazy is that, guys?
Go Lions.
I did not even think they would hit 8.
I saw the end
let
of that
alone
game.
8-2, I think, at this point, right?
60s.
Wait a minute.
The
Wait a minute.
Browns are on the top of
I
their
don't think
division.
they go 8.
And the Browns beat
They're
the
about 8 and
Steelers
2.
today.
Well, that's the
Crazy
same.
what
Win.
happened.
No. Russ, what I mean is I didn't think they get 8 this entire season, and we're not even all the way through the season yet.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's
I
like
see what you're saying.
when's the last time we got more than what, 6 or something?
I'm
I
calling it
can't-
now. Browns and the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Dare we say playoffs?
Sorry to my buddies in Chicago, but it was.
Here we go.
The last time I remember the Lions in the playoffs, I
Heard it
remember
here.
watching Barry Sanders was on the team.
Oh wow.
So
I think I was trading cards, but I don't think I was actively watching those games at that point. I was probably in bed. You know, I was a little.
I was at
young.
my grandfather's house. I remember watching.
You
Nice.
boys in their foosball games.
Cheers, everybody.
Peace
Yeah,
out.
let's catch me up
Late session
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk more about growing and less about deer. Sorry, guys.